Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuhu. I am Mobin Asaw and I am assigned to report about cash flows. Cash flow diagram. So what is cash flow diagrams? First, horizontal line divided into period time units. So as you can see here, the horizontal line is ito na yung nagre-represent sa yung period time units natin, or it can be an hour, a day, week, a month, or maybe a year. So depende sa kung ano yung cash flow diagram mo. The second one is the vertical arrows. Vertical arrows represent cash flows, up for benefits or revenues, and down for cost and expenses. The next one is the inflows positive versus outflows negative. So dito, as you can see, our vertical arrows, the one that is pointing upward is the positive and the one that is pointing downward is the negative. So usually, the arrows that is pointing upward are, ito na yung ating benefits or yung ating revenues. And the one that is pointing downward is ito na yung ating mga costs and expenses, yung sa mga maintenance and yung sa other expenses ng, for example, is ng isang company. And our inflows positive and outflows negative, the one that is pointing upward is the positive and the one that is pointing downward is the negative. So yeah, obviously. And lastly, net cash flow. So in order to get this net cash flow, you must subtract the total inflows and the total outflows. So by this, kapag na-subtract mo na yung total inflows mo sa total outflows mo, makukuha mo yung ano yung total na kinita mo, sa for example sa loob ng isang taon. So that's it. So here we have two key rules. So i-discuss natin siya one by one, so para mas maintindihan natin. So the number one is the cash flows cannot be added nor subtracted unless, so may exception, they occur at the same points in time. So dito daw, ang cash flow is hindi siya pwedeng i-add or i-subtract unless kung nagkasabay sila sa isang point of time. So example is ito. As you can see, so number 2 or the second month, mayroon siyang arrow that is pointing upward and arrow that is pointing downward. The arrow that is pointing upward is $2,000 and the arrow that is pointing downward is $3,000. So dito, meron siyang exception. So gaya ng example na ito is isa-subtract natin or ika-cancel out natin itong dalawang arrows nito, and ang may iwan is yun lamang yung magre-represent nung month na yun. So for example dito, ika-cancel out natin itong dalawang arrow o isa-subtract natin yung blue arrows and sa red arrows. So ang natira is, gaya nito, ang natira is $1,000 sa loob ng second month. So yun. Yan yung isang key rule. And the next one is number 2, cash flows occurring during a period are counted at the end of the period. So dito daw, ang cash flow, for example, is the month 1. Sorry. So, for example, the month 1 is ika-count siya sa end of the month pa lang. For example is nag-start tayo sa first month of the year. For example, January. So, the January 1 is start dito sa 0, and at the end of the month is doon na papasok yung month 1 natin, which is the January 1 dito sa may month 1. So may number 1, that is arrow that is pointing upward. And same as the, for example, is the third month. For example, is the third month. So the third month is January, February, March. So sa March, makakount lang yung sa month of the March kapag March 30 na, or the end of the March. So yun, so dun siya makakount. So these are the types of cash flows. The first one is the first cost, capital cost, or the initial investment. It is the expense to build or to buy and install. So, na-label siya as negative kasi nga maglalabas ka pala dito ng pera. So, mahuhulog siya dun sa ating outflows. The next one is the operations and maintenance or O&M. It is the annual expense such as electricity, labor, and minor repairs. So, na-label din siya as negative kasi nga meron kang expenses or maglalabas ka ng pera dito sa maintenance. So, for example, meron kang machine. So, gagastos ka para dun sa maintenance every year or the annually. The next one is the salvage value. It is a receipt at project termination for sale or transfer of equipment. So dito, kapag ganun ang scenario is papasok siya dun sa inflows natin. So positive yung label niya. So kasi nga meron kang income kapag sale. But it can be a salvage cost. Example is disposal. Disposal cost is papasok naman siya dun sa outflows natin. So malalabel siya as negative kasi nga disposal cost. So gagastos ka na naman. And the other one is the revenues or the benefits. It is a annual receipts due from sale of products or services. So positive siya. So dun siya sa inflows. So ibig sabihin sa revenues is kikita ka or meron kang kinikita. And the last one is the overhaul. It is a major capital expenditure that occurs during the asset's life. So negative din to siya. Or mahuhulog siya dun sa outflows. So meron tayong example dito. Sample of cash flow diagram. So the problem is a machine will cost $30,000 to purchase. So ang machine daw is nagkakahalaga ng $30,000. Annual operating and maintenance cost will be $2,000 and the machine will save $10,000 per year in labor cost. The salvage value of the machines or the machine after 5 years will be $7,000. So draw the cash flow diagram. So dito is kailangan natin mag-draw ng cash flow diagram. So first is the horizontal line. So ito na yung sa period of time. So as you can see sa given natin is meron tayong 5 years na sa period of time. So meron tayong 5 years. So meron din tayong 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dito sa ating horizontal line. So it represents the year. So as you can see sa zero or the origin, dito papasok yung sa first na capital natin or yung sa first investment, which is the $30,000 for the machine. So ito yung price ng machine natin, yung $30,000, 30K sa origin or the starting point. And the number 1 to 5 or the from 1 year to 5 years is meron kang annual maintenance of 2,000. So yearly sa loob ng 5 taon is meron kang 2,000 na maintenance para sa machine. And every year naman is makakasave ka naman ng $10,000 sa labor cost. So ito na yung dito na papasok yung ating inflows dun sa na-save mo dun sa labor cost dahil dun sa machine na binili mo. So as you can see, mas malaki yung kikitain mo dun sa na-save mo na labor cost at kaysa dun sa maintenance mo. So as you can see from this diagram, as time goes by is nababawi mo rin yung capital mo na 30,000. So sa loob ng 5 taon is nabawi mo na agad yung sa capital mong 30K or $30,000. So meron pa tayo ditong revenues or the salvage values or yung parang bonus mo na is 7,000. So i-add mo dun sa kinita mo na 10,000 per year or annually. So malaki yung kinita mo kaysa dun sa maintenance mo. So, ito yung pinaka clear na diagram dun sa sample natin. So, that will be all. Thank you. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah wa syukran. Assalamualaikum.